And welcome back, you guys. We're talking with Muirhead Cannery, and with me is Russell Loughmiller. And Russell, I wanted to ask you a bit about the fruit, because when Sam Muirhead built the cannery and all of that, where was the fruit coming from? And are you still using those same methods of getting the fruit? Or
right. When Sam first started the cannery, it was very small when he started out. He didn't have a lot of resources when he was beginning. People brought in their fruit and even vegetables at that time. And then a lot of times, as I understand it, would help then on the line canning their product and everybody else's, and that's kind of how they paid for part of it anyways.
Oh, really? So the public could actually be hands-on for the whole process? Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so he was doing the fruit and vegetables and getting it, people were bringing it in. In the 50s, they started buying fruit and canning it because they were getting some interest from people in saying, well, I don't have any fruit, but I'd like to buy some canned fruit. So they came out with their own label. Sam actually painted the picture that's on the can today, and started out with their own label, and started with the peaches, pears, plums, cherries, apricots, and they actually did applesauce when they were starting out too. So
pretty diversified.
Yeah.
Now, do you still get most of your fruit locally, or? Yeah,
we get it as much as we can, as close as we can. The cherries we get just from our neighbors. We get the light cherries from Ben Sinan. The dark cherries we get from Curtis Orchards. We get some of our Alberta peaches from Curtis Orchards. The pears come from Diamond Fruit Growers.
Up in Odell.
Yep, a farmers cooperative over there. We get the plums come over by Portland, a grower over there.
So as much local as possible.
As much local as possible, yeah.
Is the public still able to come in and kind of help in that process, or have you sort of moved away from that method?
We're happy to have people come in and take a tour anytime, and they can walk through and look at the line. It'd probably throw things off if they just dove right in and started helping out.
Yeah.
But, if they're really interested, we could probably find them a hairnet and some gloves and
put them to work.
Yeah.
So when did that sort of process go away, as far as?
I don't know exactly. The feeling I get is in that 50s, 60s was kind of that transition to where it was switching over more to just the sales of our Hoodcrest fruit, the Hoodcrest brand. As I understand it, starting out, there was a lot of cattle ranches and those in eastern Oregon that even gave Sam some of the seed money to get the cannery going, and then he'd deliver a lot of fruit. That's a big part of what we do is we offer fall delivery in the Northwest, so Idaho, Oregon, Washington, after we're done canning. So that's something that Sam started back in that time, and continues even now.
Okay.
People still can, talking about the custom canning, people still can bring in their own fruit, and just drop it off, and then we'll hold it till it's ready to can and can it. And it'll have their name printed on top of the can, and they can come in and pick it up. Yeah.
Is there like a minimum amount of weight or something that they have to bring in? Or?
No. Sometimes maybe we wish there was, but no. We run a bucket or to even bins or truckloads for other people.
Well, when Mr. Muirhead had the cannery, he had it until the 70s, right?
Right, and he sold it to his niece and nephew, Randy and Don Barrett. Randy had worked with Sam for a long time. Randy claims that he wasn't interested in buying the cannery, but Sam eventually came to him and said that his efforts to sell it had been unsuccessful, and so it was up to Randy to take it over and to go from there.
So he got it by default.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so Randy and his wife, they had the cannery until 2006 when my wife and I came along.
Okay. And when you bought it, what got you interested in owning a cannery, especially since you mentioned, the depth of your experience was watching your mom do some canning in the kitchen.
Right. Yeah, and trying to avoid helping her. I grew up on a farm, so I had some interest in ag, and when I graduated from college, I interviewed even with a couple processors. It's been interesting. I've the chance to take a tour of a processing plant had always interested me. At the time, I was over working for a farm in the Boardman area, and we'd been looking for about a year, wanting to buy our own farm or get into just something with our own business. And we looked at being able to buy a farm, and it turns out you had to have money to buy a farm. And
oh, don't you hate that?
I hate that. So it just wasn't working out, and we found out about the cannery. Funny thing, through relatives, somebody sharing Hoodcrest fruit with one of my relatives, and then they told my dad, and who told me, and so we came up and met Randy and Don, and they showed us around, and so you can't buy a farm without money, but it turns out you can buy a cannery without money. So.
Interesting. All right. So where did your family come in from in 2006? You guys weren't in the gorge at that time?
No, we were in Boardman.
In Boardman, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what brought you out here.
Yeah.
Okay. And you guys have a real fondness. On your website, you seem very fond of the Dells. What's the big draw for you guys?
We've really loved being here in the Dells. We've been here since 2006. We've just had good friends. It's such a beautiful area. We love that. It's, the people. Something we really like about the Dalles is that it feels, it's a town that's built around industry, around making things. The aluminum plants are closed now, but to us it still has that feel about the town, and that's just something that we like, is just that feeling of making things. And
there are a lot of really friendly people here that have a passion for what it is they're doing, which is really neat. And speaking of passion, the Muirheads, do they still check in from time to time or anything?
Yeah, actually, Sam Muirhead is still kicking around. He's very retired over in the Willamette Valley.
Okay.
He was up in 2006 in the summer, and that's the last time he's been up to the cannery. He's a little older now.
Yeah.
But Randy and Don, they're just such wonderful people. Can't say enough good about them. Randy, that first year, was there with us the whole time and helped out and helped us really learn what we were doing and get things going. Dawn has worked in the office, that first year, and she was going to retire, so she retired after the first year. Then she came back for the second year, and then she retired again and the third year, and so now she's coming back again this year.
Really?
Yeah. So there's just something about it. She just can't get away from it.
That passion, it's still there.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, we're going to take another quick break. Hey, everybody, don't go anywhere. We've got Muirhead Cannery on the show today. We'll be right back.